What is up, everybody? Welcome to yet another video. I'm Dylan from Redline, and today we are going to be talking about a modification that just about every single Audi on the planet needs to have done. What might that modification be? Well, it's getting rid of this piece of junk OEM driveshaft carrier and going ahead and replacing that with the JXB Performance driveshaft carrier. It's an upgrade that you need to have. So let's hop into the video, find out why you need to do it, how easy it is, and whatever information you're going to need. Also, you may have noticed the Duramax in the back. This is the new tow pig. I'm going to be uploading a video on it here soon. It's got a lot of goodies. Truck's really clean. It's from Utah. So yeah, that'll be coming in a upcoming video. So essentially the driveshaft carrier is what keeps your driveshaft in place when it's rotating all crazy and when you're ripping on your car. Now, a common thing with Audis is a two-piece driveshaft. So when you have a two-piece driveshaft and you have this little carrier in there to keep the driveshaft up, the OEM ones, like the rubber and the bushings and everything, starts to erode and just rust out. It's just all bad, and then your driveshaft has a ton of slop. Now, my driveshaft, for example, had about 2 or 3 inches each way of slop, so I could take my driveshaft and move it like this all crazy, and it was just super sloppy. I was getting a bunch of vibrations in the cabin. When I would take off, I would notice like weird clunks and stuff, and I was like, well, what the heck is happening? Well, we put the car up on our lift and came to find out my driveshaft was slopping all over the place, so I had to hurry up, hop on this, and get it fixed ASAP. Now, as many other people have noted, the OEM driveshaft is mainly made basically for comfort. It has no performance orientation whatsoever, and basically when you start adding power to these cars, or even in stock form, those bushings just leave the chat completely and take a crap. Here's my driveshaft carrier after only, what did we do it at? 95,000 miles. As you can see, it looks horrible. The actual bushing that we cut out was like non-existent. And to be fair, this is one of the better ones I've seen at this miles. I've seen cars with like 70,000 miles where these driveshaft carriers are absolutely shot. And sadly, when your carrier's shot and you don't do anything about it, it can actually result in a lot worse effects. Like when your driveshaft's slopping around, you can only imagine what could happen with your trans, your diff, etc., etc. So it is very, very, very important to jump on this preventatively, or if you're already getting these vibrations, get on this ASAP. Especially if you're launching the car, driving the car, anything. If you drive your car, you need to have this done. Now, unfortunately, Audi kind of made this as a non-serviceable item from the factory. So they didn't really anticipate these driveshaft carriers taking craps and basically going bad. So in order to replace them, you kind of got to get like a cutting wheel and cut in there, cut the old carrier out, and then you can throw the new one in. Now, some of my installation footage unfortunately got screwed up, and I don't really have all of it. I will show you what I still do have so you can kind of see the process. Thankfully, this is a very easy process and pretty easy to explain. Jay from JXB actually has plenty of videos up on the actual install itself. I'll be sure to link those below. Now, we did this actually at the Audi dealer, which is kind of funny, with my buddy Casey. He is an Audi tech. Shout out to you, Casey. He's going to be purchasing one of these driveshaft carriers because he felt how much of a difference it made, and he was blown away too. So, what exactly has to be done to get this in? It literally took us 5 minutes. First and foremost, we dropped the exhaust, which is like 5 bullets up and down the thing, depending on what your system is. It can vary a little bit, but you got a few bolts, drop it down a little bit. We actually took a different approach and actually took the driveshaft out because I kind of wanted to analyze it and make sure it was all good too, make sure it was all centered and hadn't got out of whack. You by no means have to take the driveshaft out to do this. We just did because it was actually easier in our situation. Once we actually had the driveshaft out, we put it on a vise and took a cutting wheel to the old driveshaft carrier. Also, this carrier was held in by 2 bolts. Forgot to mention that. But as you can see, it was already on its way out, so it cut really, really easy. There is a little bearing around here, which you don't want to cut into. The actual JXB bushings are meant to go around that, so they'll plop around like this. Oop, if I can get it. And they'll fit around like that. I'll show you a picture of the final product, obviously. But it'll go something like that, and then in your JXB carrier, it'll be kind of like that. Obviously, it's going to fit flush and circular. It's just kind of hard to do that with one hand. But once you have the JXB carrier in there and attached to the drive shaft, it's pretty easy. It literally took like 5 minutes. We threw our drive shaft back in, bolted the carrier back in with the little isolators, the dampeners, and it was good to go. It literally took like 5 to 10 minutes, if that. Here are what those isolator bushings look like. They attach right there and right there. That actually helps with the NVH and keeping everything in place and nice and flush. Oh, you're also probably wondering, why do I have another set sitting right there? Well, I got sent the track bushings and the street bushings. I currently have the street bushings in my car because I didn't really want too much NVH or anything, which I'll be getting to later. And it's more just a streetable thing. This is my daily driver for the most part, and it's not really full-blown race car. The track bushing is stiffer. You may get a little bit NVH from what I've heard, but even then, it's whatever. If it's a daily driver, I highly recommend the street bushings. You do have your option on those, and you can replace it down the road if you want to go a different path with your vehicle. Because unlike the OEM drive shaft carrier, this can actually be serviced down the road. JXB does say that this will last like basically for a very long time. So you probably won't have to do that. But if you want to switch a different path and take a different route with your car, like I said, you are more than welcome to do that. Especially with how easy it is to replace. So like I said before, I do have these street bushings and these street dampeners. Let's talk NVH first off, because that's probably what you're most worried about, throwing a stiffer bushing in or anything of that sort. I have noticed like no NVH. JXB on their website says that you might notice a little tiny bit. I have not noticed any. That could also be in part due to an aftermarket exhaust. They say when you have an aftermarket exhaust, the NVH is literally negligible. You don't notice it. It's just amazing. I'm blown away. Actually, it makes for a more pleasant ride than it did OEM in OEM form, so that's definitely a plus. Like I previously said, with my OEM drive shaft carrier, my car had a ton of slop in the drive shaft. Like, it was actually insane. Doing this drive shaft stays in place. It's actually surprising how much of a difference it makes, like just from a visual aspect, not even driving the car. Like, you go to shake the drive shaft, it is in place, it is planted. And that's just with the street bushings. I couldn't imagine how little amount of play there could be with the track, if there even is any. There's not even really any play in the street bushings. So driving around, like I said previously, you don't really notice any NVH. Coming from like a dead stop and driving, it actually completely got rid of the little clunkiness that I was having when I would kind of blip the throttle to take off. My car is DSG, by the way. I would get like this random clunking noise, kind of. I guess that's the best way to explain it. Mainly due to drivetrain sloppiness. And this completely solved that. I don't have that anymore. My girlfriend puts it best. Like, even just driving day to day, it kind of feels like the car just glides now. Like, it's just so much smoother. It's more refined. And ultimately, it just makes the car feel better in a day-to-day driving experience. Now, for some of you, that doesn't even matter, and all you care about is a performance aspect. Your cars are full race cars. I understand that. So, I've also noticed from a performance aspect, when I launch the car, actually, it's kind of surprising. This thing just hooks up and goes. Before, I assume it was from the sloppiness in the drivetrain. It would kind of like squirm a little bit when launching and act stupid. And literally the only difference I've made is changing out that carrier. So obviously that's made a good difference from a performance aspect. And the car definitely feels more planted, if that makes sense. And it feels, it's so good. It's kind of hard to explain into words without actually feeling it. As I said before, the car definitely just feels like it's gliding. It feels like how it should have came from the factory, or how it should have held up over time. So without a doubt, I cannot complain one bit. I literally don't have any negatives to even say about this thing. The only negative I could think of is, why didn't I do this sooner? But on a real note, the track bushings, I can't really speak on too much. I don't have those in my car, like I said before. I am running the street bushings in the street dampeners, and I have absolutely zero complaints with those. I daily drive this car. I've had these on the car for probably 300, 400, 500 miles at this point. Weather hasn't been cooperating here in Ohio, so I'm finally getting around to this video. But overall, it's a modification that every Audi needs. Basically, any car with a two-piece drive shaft needs it. I know these drive shafts are really big in the S6 scene. Those things are even worse than this platform with carriers going bad. So I know a lot of S6 dudes have those. And hopefully a lot more Audi people in general find out about this and do this to their cars, and hopefully save their drive shafts, save their rear diffs, save their trans from any possible issues, and ultimately improve the drive of their car. Like I said, this is a carrier with not that many miles. Hasn't really seen a winter. I think it's seen one winter actually, but that's not from one winter. That's just poor quality, honestly, from a OEM carrier, and they are kind of junk. So like I said before, I cannot stress it enough. You need to make this change. You need to get this JXB carrier in. By far the best on the market. If you're not familiar with Jay and his company, he is one of the coolest dudes out there, to be honest. He's really pushing the platform, especially the S4 and S5. That's what I'm in, B8, B8.5 in specific. He is going over and beyond to push this platform beyond its limits and to see what it really can do. Being that these cars are coming up on 10, 12 years old, I'm happy that someone is finally breaking down the barrier and kind of pushing it, see what these cars can do. I know he's currently in development for port injection, which I'm so thrilled for. That basically gives you the ability to run straight E85. Currently, we are kind of limited to an E40 blend. Some people have kind of knocked it up to an E50 blend, but even there's more risk, and it's just not all it is. Port injection, I'm looking forward to. Go support Jay. You have to support the people who support your platform. His motto literally is control without compromise. There is no compromise in his products. These things are top of the line. I am beyond thrilled. I'm going to probably purchase some more JXB stuff here in the future. It's just so good. I'm so happy that he brought these to the platform, and the difference that it's made is insane. There's Jay's company, obviously the motto. Go hit him up, get you a drive shaft carrier. If you are a manual S4 guy, he has a bunch of stuff for the manual cars as well. Gated shifters, well, it's like a gated shifter, all kinds of crazy stuff. Like I said, anything that he comes out with is basically amazing. If you already don't know that, then you're missing out. Go get hip to some JXB performance products. On that note, it's time for me to hit the store. I appreciate you guys for watching the video. If there's any questions or concerns at all or anything that I missed, be sure to drop a comment below. I try to reply as fast as I can. Check me out on social medias. My handle on literally everything is RedlineDill. And other than that, thank you guys for watching. If you're in anything automotive or car related, I try to post here on the channel 2 to 3 times a week. We do everything from car reviews, mod reviews, DIY, the whole 9 yards. If it's car related, we do it here on the channel. So be sure to subscribe, drop a like. It helps out a ton. And I'm going to head to the store. Time to take the old Dirty Max for a rip, see what she's like. And I'm looking forward to bringing you guys some Duramax content here soon. Oh, she purrs. Real quick, if you didn't see my last video, the S4 is also now on E40. Be sure to check out those videos. I was supposed to hit the track today to see what this thing can do, but Ohio weather never cooperates. I don't know if you can see it. We got a slight snowfall, and the track got canceled. So go me. But for real, guys, thank you very much for watching the video, and I'm out. Have a good one.